Peace and love. What up, though? What it do? What's popping? What's cracking? I'm like all the way over there. Peace and love. What up, though? What it do? What's popping? What's cracking? What's happening there? Time 9, time 10. Time 9, time 10 again. We about to do part 2 on these bums. Some bums and vagabonds from the house of ill repute, like my granny used to say. And they have become wealthy and powerful, and if it wasn't for this attention economy that we're in right now, yeah, they still have, possibly something financially to offer their heirs and descendants. But what about us, right? What about us? We seem to be their business, right? But their business seems not to be our business, right? Again, our business seems to be their business, especially since this new department known as Doge has all of our, available information within the federal realm or whatnot, right? And this wasn't by choice, because not now one of us, if you voted or not, you did not vote for Elon Musk. You voted for Donald J. Trump, some of you. And some of us are like me, who refuse to do business with these people unless, it's by way of threat, direction, coercion, right? Outside of that, things we didn't have control of, during the day that we came here to have this experience, right? It wasn't our choice. What name or Christian appellation or, noble titles that were bestowed upon us on the day that we came here, that many of us call a birthday, a born day, a solar return, a earth day, however you like to label it. You did not pick and choose what you were going to be called. And I'm speaking about what we call a name, which, when you have some knowledge, you already know that when you utilize the term name, right, you are, that means that you're a Christian. What I've been taught and, what I read over 20 years ago, that's why I hesitate to use the word name, right? Christian appellation or noble title. Give me some more, give me some more. We have a bunch of intelligent brothers and sisters out there, here, and everywhere who, let me take these down. That's why I was late. I just got finished putting that little video together. I guess I should be proud of myself. Hopefully, I didn't make the audio too loud or nothing like that. So we're going to get into this part 2. I see everybody else on their part 1. I was on my part 2 about this last night. And as we do a somewhat of a recap of some of the videos that I've shared with you all, most of them are from this year. And some of them have bits and pieces of former live broadcasts that we did from years ago. Because if you have been tuned in to the Alhambra Society, whether it's the original Alhambra Society or the Alhambra Society 313, I've been on Elon behind, as well as Biden, as well as Trump, as well as Hillary Rodham Clinton, and all the rest of these people who sit in these governmental office who refuse to balance the books by way of cutting the checks, right? And, when they are not putting pen to paper to balance the books by way of cutting the checks, like I don't have anything good, to say about them. So I can't say I have zero comprehension as to why some of our brothers and sisters are so tuned in and cheerleading Donald J. Trump so hard. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the blind leading the blind. And again, when I say these things, it's a certain amount of people who are absolutely incompetent, that will use straw man arguments against me and say, well, the Democrats were the party of the Ku Klux Klan. And I don't give a shit. I told you. Two wings, same bird. They are both simultaneously flapping simultaneously is what they're doing. So whether you're talking about a left wing or right wing, I give zero, what? I'm saying I don't care. I do not care. What I care about is the fact that these colonist invaders are late on their rent. They like a couple of centuries behind on rent. So when we talk about reparations, restitution, compensation, I'm not just talking about, oh, they owe us for, kidnapping and robbing our ancestors. No, it's not just that. It was some of our ancestors who gave them permission to do commerce and trade on this land by way of various contracts, like a constitution, like a declaration of independence. Because remember, these people were slaves. You understand? We like to use the word indentured servants. Okay. They were under indentured servitude. Okay, same difference. Or you come up with all the colorful terms that you would like, but same difference. And with that said, they have been reneging for a couple centuries now. So I'm not tuned in or, cheerleading for Democrats or Republicans. And like I keep telling y'all, for those of you who like to think that, I'm uninformed as to the fact that once upon a time, the Ku Klux Klan and the so-called white supremacists, they were of the party of the Democrats. But right now, they are within both parties. Not only are, these neo-Nazi skinhead Ku Klux Klan men and women within the parties of or administration or whatever you want to call it, Democrats and Republicans, they also are, in your judicial and your legislative branches as well. They just don't sit, in the executive branch. Again, they're in the judicial and legislative branches, as well as state and local agencies in all of the federal subsidiaries. So don't come to me with that dumb shit. Y'all keep that dumb shit, on your social media platforms or whatnot. Don't come to me with the dumb shit as if I'm uninformed or ill-informed or whatever. I'm very informed at what is going on. You just don't know how incompetent. And you can always be guaranteed one thing. I'm gonna keep it 100,000% factual over here. Okay, don't come with that dumb shit about, again, the KKK is the Democratic Party. Shut your ass up is what I'm gonna say to you, and open up a book and take a look. Matter of fact, you don't have to even go inside of a book. You understand? You don't got to go inside of a book. Stevie Wonder knows what's going on. How come you don't? You have no excuses because, most of us, for the most part, your pupils, you have a 20/20 vision or whatnot. You understand? Unless you have, you are hearing impaired, you can see and hear, and experience everything that everyone else does. But again, what happens is a lot of our people regurgitate information that they find on the internet without vetting it. You think because there's a person who has, thousands or hundreds of thousands or even millions of views, who may be melanated just like you, is telling you the truth. So you just follow it. Right? And in this case, is not really the blind leading the blind or the dumb leading the dumb, because in a lot of cases, like I told you, some of these brothers and sisters know the same things that I know, right? But they out here to, in this attention economy, try to get a check. So the same way that Trump was advised to ride that algorithm and utilize Elon Musk to get his orange ass in that Oval Office, is the same way many of the melanated brothers and sisters on various platforms, whether it be popular or not, ride that same, wave, right? In order to build up their following, their views, and so on and so forth. And again, we don't rock like that over here, right? Sometimes the truth hurts. For real, the truth don't always feel good, but it is the greatest thing that you can ever possess is the truth, right? Because when you know the truth, you know not to walk off that cliff with the rest of them sheep, right? They call us the black sheep. But again, many of our brothers and sisters don't like the utilization of the term black, right? But like I told you, and I'll tell you again, when we are kicking it with one another, I don't have a problem with the utilization of the term black, right? Although, although many years ago, I was a student of the original Edaman. You know what I'm talking about? Brother Abdullah Mosley, Il Bay, or Il, if you will. You know what I'm saying? I went to school a long, long time ago on a lot of these topics that a lot of you all are, you know, are new and exciting to you. So when you hear somebody like myself, right, who carries such noble titles like Ish or She or Il, Bay, Day, Al, Ali, you know, you look at me sideways. She just said black. Yes, I did, because we are speaking English. And like I keep telling y'all, if there were, you know, if it was even 50% of so-called black Americans, if just 50% of us were multilingual and trilingual, or even at the very least bilingual, you know what I'm saying? Like, we would have a better over understanding of certain usage of certain terms in this modern time. And again, we are speaking a very modern tongue. English is not an ancient tongue. Now, you can talk to me about Latin. You can talk to me about Greek. For me, that is not, you know, ancient terminology. All of that shit to me is modern. Unless you're talking about, I'll give you a little bit slack, a little bit of slack. 5,000 years or better, then, you know, we can start using the word ancient when I'm speaking, right? But when we talk about Old English and Middle English and High German and Low German, those languages were not in existence even 1,000 years ago, let alone 5,000 years ago. And as we, you know, study, yes, he is the heavyweight champion of etymology. Yes, he is. You know, I, you know, can give a shout out to my brother D Calico, because, you know, he's up under that tutorage. Is that a word? Tutorage? Tutorage of the God, right? Abdullah. But again, I have some DVDs, you know what I'm saying, that predate many of these people who try to come at me for the utilization of the word black. Like, dude, you got nothing funny. Again, when I am interacting, or when we are interacting with local, state, and federal entities and subsidiaries, no, you do not use that word black. You do not allow for them to refer to you as a black, African American, Negro, none of that. But when we kicking the bobos with one another, you understand, and I use the word black, don't come to me with that. You don't do it. Don't do it. You end up looking incompetent the way the brothers and sisters used to do when I was still rocking the Byzantine with the Jesus piece on it, right? I've been I've literally been sitting in, you know what I'm saying, a Taj Tariq Bey lecture, or a brother Bobby Hemmett lecture, or, you know, taking my brother Dr. Aleem L. Bay on tours throughout Detroit with some of his students that are from all different cities within Michigan. And they will run up to me and be like, sister, why you got that on your neck? You know what I'm saying? And they would get a lesson. You know, like I've been saying, I wasn't ready to relinquish my Jesus piece to the Ashkenazi, Khazarian, Yiddish people. Like many of my brothers and sisters, you know, were starting to do, I'll say starting back in like maybe 2007, 2006, 2008, you know, when they quadrupled the price of gold, many people went and, you know, went and got that bread and turned their gold in. It took me a long time for me to even just let go of that one piece of gold that I had. So again, with as much knowledge as I had back then, yes, I was still walking around with a Jesus piece on. But when I was approached by brothers and sisters throughout the conscious community, I could break that down into pieces as to where once they knew that I had that knowledge, for the most part, they left me alone about it. But still kind of looking at me funny like I was a cretin or something like that. And it was just funny to me. It just gave me an opportunity to give people, some knowledge that many of them didn't even have to, keep it a buck. So let's get into it. I played the video last night with Jeffrey Epstein talking about how Trump was his best friend for like 10 years and Trump this and dragging Trump here and dragging Trump name here, there, and everywhere. And I also mentioned the fact that, because we're not just going to talk about Trump tonight, right? We're going to go back into Elon Musk again and talk about some of the most recent Twitter or X statements that he's had, because it seems to be he's trying to get back in good graces with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump, like, he don't want to talk to him. Like, bro, you done already went out here and snitched on me and let everybody know that the reason that the Jeff Epstein files aren't accessible to the general populace of people is because Donald Trump is very well inside, you know what I'm saying, of those logs or whatnot, which the people already know that. The people know that. But it's the fandom. Did I just make up a word? The fandom, like, people are actually fans of their natural enemies. Like, how can you be? It's like being a friend with a damn rattlesnake. Like, I don't know. Is it something in the water, something in the Kool-Aid? That makes us, want to be. And it's Oreo shit, is what it is. What makes us want to be in love with these people who obtain their wealth at the detriment of our communities, at the detriment of our ancestors, right? Of our elders. Yeah, they see, going back to the Jesus piece, what the Yiddish did is they, took the diamonds out of my piece and gave them to me, you know what I'm saying? And just gave me the money for the gold portion or whatever. So it is what it is. I still wasn't ready to let go. I still wasn't ready to let go. Like I said, for me, as a baby, I say, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't already born with a pair of gold hoop earrings and a bracelet and a necklace with the Jesus piece on it already on me, because every photograph I've ever seen of myself, 1 through 5 and beyond, I always was what we call draped up. The kids call it drip. The youngins call it drip. We used to say you draped in gold and diamonds back in the day when I was young or whatever. So granddaddy had a mouth full of gold, you know what I'm saying, on my maternal side or whatnot. So I can't remember a time when jewelry wasn't a part of my life. So I have a difficult time. Many rings as I've lost, and necklaces and things like this and that, whether it was 15 years ago when I lost the ring, I still feel the pain. It still bothers me a whole lot. And somebody is very lucky, as much jewelry as I've lost. Somebody was grinning ear to ear, and congratulations to their ass, because I lost it. It's like Teddy Pendergrass, I lost it. The whole town's laughing at me. Silly fool, how'd you lose such a good thing? Boom, boom, boom. Y'all don't know that song. Let me stop. That was my favorite Teddy Pendergrass song. It wouldn't turn out the lights and all of that. It was the whole town's laughing at me. That used to be my shit. I was literally banging that out of 86 Fleetwood, Brougham, and a Corsica, a 96 Corsica back in 1999. Like, that's my jump. So I don't get it. Like, some of the things that Trump, or the few things that he said concerning why he not, has no wishes to speak to Elon at the moment, was a bunch of hogwash, because I'm not saying that there's no relevance to Elon Musk being mad that, what do they call it, the EV fund, electric vehicle, something fund or whatnot, has been cut, right? And I don't see a reason for Elon Musk to be crying about that, because Elon Musk, look, what a video at, so we can be right and exact, because it's in the billions. Like Elon Musk, again, was getting money out of the Democratic administration during both of Barack Obama's terms in office. He got so many billion. What a video at, y'all. Let me find a video right quick, because again, I've been talking about this for a long time. So for Trump to point out, yeah, he's upset about that, and now, he's gonna go and support the Democrats. Trump needs to look here. Both Trump and Elon Musk were two of the biggest financial backers of the Democratic parties, the Democrats, administration, and so on and so forth. They did that for way more years than either of them supported the Republican, or, switched over to being Republicans. So, I need y'all to stop letting these bums play y'all like y'all peons, or like y'all are completely incompetent, right? You would have to be a fool to not realize the fact that Elon played a major role. Again, this one truth that he did tell over the past couple of days is that he played a major role in Trump getting into that office. What them two bums did, and a lot of you other bums who are within listening distance, because I know y'all be listening to me, what they did again is they played on the naivety, how you say that, naivete of the people, right? And they also rolled that algorithm. That algorithm, it is a beast, and it points out to what's being talked about the most, and which people are talking about what's being talked about the most. And these are the people who became their direct targets, right, of that particular campaign in which Trump won, right? That's what had happened. It's the same way that people, jump on hot topics and ride it on out, and keep riding it on out till it's not popular anymore. Then they jump on the next topic without a care of whether or not the information that they are regurgitating is factual or not, right? Because a lot of times what they are saying is not factual. You're just regurgitating stuff, again, to grow your following, grow your YouTube channel or whatever platform, you're on, IG or Facebook or whatever. And Facebook playing me, y'all. Facebook will not let me go live on the profile that everybody know me for. So I don't know how long it's gonna be, but it's to be expected, because I've been dragging it. This is my job. This is my duty. I don't want to say job like Job, but again, this is what I'm delegated to do, which is one of the things is to put a stop to the false information that people who are claiming that they are a part of what we have labeled a conscious community, right? Whether they're from the grassroots conscious community or not, whether they are one of my elders or not. If I see you sharing something that I have researched inside and outside, and I know that it is satire, that it is false, I'm gonna get on your ass. I don't care. I don't care. I will sound like Dey-Twah, like Mike Epps. I don't care. I don't care how you feel about it. What I care about is the destruction of the credibility of our movements based off of the fact that y'all keep regurgitating shit that's not true, right? You haven't, found a primary source. You haven't even bothered to look. You just repeating shit, which makes us all look bad. And I'm not trying to look bad with you. So if I have to no longer be cool with you because you out here doing bum shit, then that's what it is. Again, I don't care. I don't care nothing about that. What I care about is people referencing you and I as having similar titles or whatnot, right? We share a lot of the same information with the people, minus the bum shit that you be, dribbling out your lips, right? So I be trying to put tape over people's mouths. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's a terrible look. It don't look so good. It look like it look like you mentally unstable to those of us who are aware of what the actual facts are versus the people who, don't really care about what the actual facts are, and people who are regurgitating that actually think that they're regurgitating some actual facts and some truth, and they are absolutely not, right? So it's for me now, what we have to understand that these people function like Days of Our Lives, All My Children, One Life to Live, General Hospital, and all of this and all of that. When I say these people, I'm talking about these politicians and their sidekicks and their daddies, because they have daddies and mamas, and I'm not talking about their biological mothers and fathers. I'm talking about those who have them in that puppet position, as to where you get down or lay down, like we in Philadelphia, like we in the city of brotherly love, right? Get down or lay down, and they play their parts. So one thing that I will admit to is I'm not 100% sure as to whether Elon Musk and Donald Trump are creating this controversy and able to create a diversion or to distract the people and get their attention on that while they put their hand in your pocket some more. They're not above doing dirty shit like that. They're bums. I don't care how much, again, what they bank accounts say, right? I don't care what that stock market say. They are bums and vagabonds from the house of ill repute, like grandma used to say. One thing that we can say about our elders, many of them, they were willing to, I don't want to use the word respect, but they will listen to the pale faced people who could admit to their racial biases, right? Their prejudices, so to speak, before they would listen to somebody who was a liar, a liar. You know what I'm saying? It took me a while to understand that, but I overstand that, but I overstand it now and understand it as well. Because most pale people who will admit that I don't like the blacks, I don't like the Hispanics, all of these other colorful names, that they've given to indigenous, aboriginal, or autochthonous people, they'll admit that, hey, we don't like you. You know what I'm saying? So I guess being that they have a certain amount of honesty or whatever, some of our ancestors found it, more easy to deal with them, Now I'm like, I'd rather, them just go back to from which they came, right? Whether or not you consider Europa to be their home of nativity or not, I don't care. It just seems to be to me that why they don't want to be there. Now that's one thing. Yeah, I know what it is, but again, they quick to tell us to go back to somewhere that none of us ain't never fucking been. So why they don't want to go back to where they come from? I'm just saying. Why they don't want to go back and suck on their own mama titty? Why they got to be over here, sucking us dry, being parasites over here? Take your ass over there and start being a parasites on your own damn people. I'm just saying, especially when you talk about those who consider themselves to be white supremacists. Okay, you so white and you so supreme. Why wouldn't you want to be over there where the white people are? Where your ancestors come from? France, England, Ireland, Scotland, Germany, German, over there, some motherfucking where. This not your home. We need to be less concerned about the word black and us using the word black out again, as long as it's outside of their corporate entities and in the subsidiaries of that. Why you so worried about that shit? You should be more worried about the fact that Elon and Trump are calling themselves Americans. You. That's the shit we need to be like, hey, hold on, y'all are not Americans. I don't care if you was born here. Since Trump want to say, the children who have parents that are, Mexicans and El Salvadorian, how you say that? El Salvadorians and Venezuelans and things like this and that. He say them babies that was born here, they can't use that in order to have citizenship here and blah, 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 blah. Okay, if that go for them, that go for y'all ass too. You need to go back to France and England and all the other places over in Europa, or even in Africa. Because what you gotta understand is when you're looking at what we now call the continent of Africa, and you're looking at the continent known as Europe, they are pretty close in proximity. You see? Much closer than Africa is to America. Europe is much closer to Africa, right? I'm just saying. And most Europeans, when they take their vacations and they want to go somewhere that's beautiful and exotic, where do you think they go? They go to Sierra Leone and other places throughout the other nation states or countries within the continent of Africa. That's where they go to vacation. Just like the pale face people over here, when they go on vacation, where do they go? They like to go to the Bahamas and Cancun and even Jamaica, and you know what I'm saying? That's where they go to vacation and sit in the sun and burn and things like this and that. They do the same thing over there where they come from. So it's not like they don't, have pretty much. They don't have somewhere else to go and be. Go to where you want it. That's where you want it at. You're not wanted over here. But again, when we not speaking on that, we want to talk about black and Negro and colored all the damn time. Why we can't never talk about them calling themselves, again, Americans? Why y'all keep allowing them to get away with that? But you want to jump down my throat when you hear me use the word black. Now, how did that happen? I don't even understand how this happened. So I'm going to have to move this over there and take it down some over here. What a thing that y'all gotta excuse me. I'm trying to put something up here for you right quick. I mean, what more can I say that I haven't already said concerning these two cats? I've been told you neither one of them ain't on your team. So again, my brothers and sisters who went out and voted or whatnot for any of these people, like, man, I have such a hard time dealing with y'all. For real. This man is supposed to be in this office where I'm at. Put me on account. He's supposed to be in this office to be cutting the checks and balancing the books. But he, again, what checks has he cut? Right? With the 15 to 20 billion that they know that they owe us, right? Which is the amount that, again, they can afford to give, but they'll sit back and they'll watch these local cities and towns and states, the towns and the states, They have been cutting the checks and balancing the books to the best of their ability. But the federal government hasn't been doing it. And this is the biggest issue that we have as a people. I don't care what your bank account could look like, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Even remember when T.I. was out here rooting for reparation, compensation, restitution? Remember that conversation? What is it? What's the name of the Lord, and what's the name of the Europeans who, from over there in England, who he was pointing his finger at or whatnot? Then all of a sudden, T.I. stopped having that conversation. Say 2020. I'm just saying, I'm not rocking with none of these people. What is this plus? It didn't go away, did it? No, it ain't go away. But I don't understand why it's not letting me click clack. I'm supposed to be able to click clack, and ain't letting me click clack. So I'm gonna have to take that down. So it'll take me down for a minute. As a matter of fact, let's bust open one of these videos. I think it would be take that down to help me out, because my memory ain't the best. It's not. It's a damn shame. I've actually done multiple broadcasts about these same topics, and I can recall, a lot of the dirt that they did, but the exact numbers on some of this escapes me now. So let's get to some of these numbers right. Is it Lords of London? Lloyds of, hey, y'all, thank you so much. And you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, T.I. had to pump his brakes. And some of our people do so much conspiracy theory shit, A lot of times we try to piece together some things that don't go together, right? And when I bring to light the things that go together, you have a lot of people that start talking crazy. Let me see. So, this video was called "Bank of Elon Musk equal the White House Part 1." So let's check it out right quick. And again, if you want to see it, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to the Alhambra Society 313 on YouTube. Because, like I said, over the years, I've done multiple bills about this very same topic. So let's get it up on the screen right quick. Take my brother down. And why would it even do that? Okay. And I think I even got to take my banner down, which y'all know this rarely ever gets dismissed. Let's get some volume. Let me see. Oh yeah, we got the max right now. So let's see. I hope the background ain't too loud, y'all. The background too loud, let me know if it's any distortion or too much noise in the background or whatnot. Yeah, daddy. Let's go back. So y'all see how much money he done got? You know what I'm talking about? What was that 38 billion? Starting with Obama. Obama was the first to cut the check, right? To Elon Musk. The same way that Biden was the first to put the 100% tariffs on China. But your boy, the orange guy, he liked to lie so much. And it's funny when I'm talking to my own people, when I tell y'all, hey, Biden was the one that put the 100% tariff on China before Trump even got in the White House. So again, Trump only added 45 more percent to that 100% tariff. And then he took it back down to 100%. And y'all think that he wasn't doing shit. He's not the one who originally implemented those tariffs onto China. But he likes to take credit for shit that he didn't do. But the dirty deeds that motherfucker has done, he will not put himself, you know what I'm saying? He won't accept responsibility. He will not be accountable for his mistakes. And those are the kind of people that I hate the most. Those who don't want to be accountable for they BS. And that's like a common theme, you know what I'm saying, here in North America, not just with the pale people, but with some of our own people as well. They don't like to be accountable for their shit. That's why a lot of these people do not mess with me, y'all. That's just what it is. They don't like the truth. Like when I point out the fact that many of your favorite YouTube scholars are regurgitators of QAnon, fake ass satire information, and neo-Nazi skinhead, racist satire information, and they readily regurgitate it and makes us all look like clowns. But you want to talk to me about how melanated women, the people in other countries, look at the black woman as the enemy of the black man, right? Look at black women as a repulsive. Man, if you don't get the fuck out of here, let's deal with some facts. Let's deal with some facts that melanated women are the most college educated people in the damn nation. Let's look at the fact that when we look at what's going on with the prison system and the high rates of incarceration, you know, when I go to visit my cousins Pookie and Ray Ray, all I see is mamas and sisters for the most part, and wives going to visit them brothers, putting money, you know what I'm saying, on their books so that they can buy commissary and things like this and like that. Taking care, it's grandma and auntie that's out here taking care of these brothers, daughters, and sons while they lock the fuck up. But y'all like to drag your own damn women. That gender war shit, that's my number one target. Because we have no damn business participating in a fucking gender war. You have no business taking relationship advice from a fucking Corey Holcomb. He couldn't keep his own marriage together, right? According to him. The one thing that he knows how to do real good is trick. Or let me be very blunt and speak French. Corey Holcomb, he's an expert at buying pussy, according to him. So this is the man that you're going to take your relationship advice from? Ugh. Now, as a comedian, he may be hilarious, but he is nobody that you should be taking relationship advice from. So let's get back to the video. I don't want to drift off. I don't want to drift off too far, but y'all know that's my team. My team is putting an end to the gender wars that we have no business participating in, because melanated men and women need each other, right? We need one another in order to overcome the turmoil that we are in as a nation of people. Us. I'm not talking about them. Fuck them. Fuck Trump and fuck Elon. Right? Big Mama and Papa had enough sense to stay together, even when sometimes Papa had children outside of his marriage. Grandma was still there, being his support system, right? Being his peace. Pop knew better than to be out here dragging grandma. Oh, she ain't shit. She this, she that, and all she wants is material items. The woman that been with you for 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 years. No, that's you new niggas that be on this internet algorithm shit. Man, don't listen to a nigga who done told y'all what he likes to do is buy pussy. He's also admitted to being jealous of women. But this who you take your fucking information from? Let's get back to the video. Let me go back because I want to see them numbers again. Where we at? I gotta hit pause again on my own video because this is what I shoot at the dummies who, when I'm online talking shit about Trump, they want to talk to me about the Democrats and the Democrats, being the party of the KKK and the Democrats supporting the rainbow people and all of this shit because they don't like the research and they have selective memory, right? They forget the fact that your boy Trump was out there carrying the rainbow flag and talking about how much he appreciates the support from the LMNOTTPKFFU people, right? The same way Trump used to say that cryptocurrency was a scam and it was a fraud, and he's going to make sure that the United States of America gets rid of it and arrest everybody that they can who deals with the Bitcoin and, the cryptocurrency, but not as bastard got his own cryptocurrency, right? So it's different when, again, once upon a time, it was certain foods that I didn't like, right? And as I got older and I'm like, let me try this. Let me see what the difference is in between a calamari and a squid and an octopus and how different nationalities of people prepare these certain foods. And some of it, and I'm not saying that I like squid or calamari or octopus. All I'm saying to you is, we grow and, we learn things. You understand? And we began to develop an appreciation for certain things, right? So with that being said, it doesn't make sense for a 75-year-old man, you understand, 4 years later to, after he done fucked you up for 4 years, and you probably got rid of all your crypto because you were such a Trump follower, right? You got rid of all your crypto, and now he has his own crypto. And by the way, did y'all see them gold watches, them Trump gold watches that, people were spending mad money on, buying or whatnot? And a large percentage of those Trump gold watches, they didn't put the T on it. So the watch says rump instead of Trump. In the, the facial, the bezel portion of the watch, it says rump instead of Trump. Well, them watches made in China. Why he telling you, he ain't fucking with China? And he done had all these watches made in China and they intentionally misspelled his name on the watch or forgot to put the T or intentionally didn't put the T. So you got people walking around rocking rump watches instead of Trump watches. Man, let's finish the video. But again, this is the meme that I put on people when they try to put the bullshit on me. Like you got your people mixed up. You don't know who, trying to insult. Because throwing the Democratic Party at me because I'm dragging Trump, that has no effect on me. Because again, I don't give a shit who sits in that Oval Office. I am going to drag their ass until they balance the books by way of cutting the checks. Say it with me. Balance the books by way of cutting the checks. Other than that, I'm going to talk about you, your mama, your daddy, your cross-sided baby. I don't care. The same way you give zero, you know what? To pay that rent, that back rent that y'all owe, as well as the money that y'all owe for the red lining and the red summers and the vagrancy laws. You understand? You know what I'm saying? The Jim Crow, the Christian black codes, and every fuck thing else that you put on the books, right? That you never abolished. All they have done is modifications. to everything that I just mentioned. They didn't abolish none of that shit. They just modified it. You know? That's what they did. I gotta stop it again. Obama gave Elon 465 million. 465, but they parade him around as he's the richest man. He's the richest man in the world, right? Of course he is, because he got all of our fucking money. Meanwhile, meanwhile, they're saying, we're gonna the federal government. Again, I'm not talking about your local government, because the local governments have been putting laws on the books to pay reparations in the ways that they can pay, right? They're not the federal government. They don't have the funding. They don't have the funds that the federal government has. So when we say it's going to take in between 15 to 20 trillion in order for them to balance the books with us, they're talking about doing a fucking study, right? But you got 465 million to give Elon. And the grand total of what they have given Elon is 38 billion. So they created this monster. They made a guy who did not register for South Africa's military draft, right? If that was you or me or any of us, we would still have a warrant out for our arrest, right? Out for our kidnapping, right now. They would be treating us like they treat Asada Shakur, right? We would be stuck living in Cuba. But he gets to become the richest, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? He gets that. What we get is a bunch of cuts to Medicaid and food stamps, and look at all the melanated people who lost their jobs, right? Up under Trump, and these cuts that they making. And now they're calling back so many hundreds of federal employees after they've been out of work for how many months now? I promise you, every time I'm on Facebook, and I see somebody hugging Trump nuts, I just want to throw up. I'm gonna be honest. At least if Biden was in office, right? Especially now, since he like super senile, he got dementia and he's senile real bad, and Alzheimer's and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I would enjoy him being in office more, watching him fall up steps and fall down steps and fall off bikes, and in the middle of his speech, stutter more than I stutter and go, it's been good night. You know what I'm saying? He was much more hilarious to me to watch as a CEO than Trump, right? I'm just saying. And when it comes to age, they both old as hell. Both of them. And neither of them are my presidents. Eric B is president over here. You want to know who the president is over here? It's Eric B. Eric B and Rakim, that Eric B. It's the only person we call president over here. These are bums, right? These are well-dressed scumbags. Let me let the video play because it's only like 2 minutes. Again, if you want to see the full video and part, because it's part 1. If you want to see part 2, part 3, and part 4, go on over to the Humber Society 313, subscribe, and go through the videos, go through the lives, go through the short videos, and I can guarantee you that you will be getting 100% facts. You won't be getting none of that QAnon bullshit that your homeboys or homegirls is over there regurgitating because they trying to get a check, right? That's not what we doing over here. I cuss so much, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of my videos that my monetization is either 0 or they hit me with the yellow dollar sign. And we know I don't care. So let's go. Okay, this is the last time I'm gonna pause it. Okay, the money specifically, and I think it's just the initial check that Obama gave to Elon. Elon paid them first 20, 30, 40, 50 million or whatever it was. If you go and watch the videos, I put all the exact calculations and numbers in there. I want it to be thorough, right? But right now I'm just going off the top of the head. I got issues and things to celebrate within my own goddamn household. I'm not trying to keep track of what goes on in La Casa Blanca, right? Where they found the cocaine in La Casa Blanca, right? That's their kind of problems. You're not finding no cocaine in mi casa. There's no cocaine in mi casa, but they got cocaine in the White House, right? Facts. I don't have to lie. You see what I'm saying? It's easy. I want to say this to the brothers and sisters who are saying things like Michelle Obama is a man, any other the fake shit that you saying. These people got so much dirt on them, you don't have to regurgitate neo-Nazi skinhead racist satire. It's enough dirt that has been proven and released. It was the White House who released the fact that they found the cocaine or the cocaine in the White House. It wasn't me. You understand? Yes, I saw it in the newspaper. Yes, I saw it on NBC and ABC News or whatnot, right? I heard it on the BIN News Network, right? But who released that information? It was the White House administration who released the fact that they found the cocaine in La Casa Blanca. It wasn't me. I was just conveying the information to y'all. So with that being said, you don't have to get out here and regurgitate lies that you found online. These people have enough legitimate dirt, right, that you can sling at their ass. Instead of you making us all look like fucking buffoons by slinging dirt that ain't even fucking real. So the only person that's getting dirty when you slinging that mud is your own fucking self, and you tearing down the credibility of our movements while you doing it. I see the Duketeers. That's one name. You understand? I can say. And again, that's somebody that's been a guest on our show. And someone who I still consider to be a relative and still consider to be my brother. But with that being said, when you wrong, I'm gonna spank your ass. I don't give a fuck if you were elder. I don't give a fuck if you was my grandma. When you telling lies, you make the whole you make all of us look bad. I don't like using the word family, but for lack of a better word, I'll say family. You make the whole family look bad. Okay? That's just what it is. Block me, hate me, don't hate me. Don't. That's the one thing that I don't like is people having these negative thoughts and shit. Nigga, you don't fucking know me like that. For one. And if you do know me and you harboring a bunch of hate for me in your fucking heart, then you know what I'm saying? I don't prefer for you to do that because you fucking up my lottery chances and shit. You fucking with my shit. I'm not sitting up harboring hateful fucking feelings and shit about nobody outside of the people who are sitting in the Oval Office that's not balancing the books and cutting the checks. You understand? Outside of people who are pedos, right? Outside of people who, use violence against women and children. and violate women and our women and children, and human traffic our women and children. Yes, I hate the fuck out of those people. The ones who have already passed over. If I could dig them up and get them life just to kill their ass again, I would. Again, I'm not one of them people that be like, bless the dead, and you shouldn't talk bad about the dead. If the dead was a dirty motherfucker, when they was walking on this plane and functioning on, they a dirty motherfucker while they cremated or 6 feet under, you still a dirty bitch. Let's finish the video. Let's do that. All right. And they did find a bag of cocaine. I was just saying, I know if y'all listen, to this channel and me broadcasting a lot, you hear me talk about that a lot, right? You heard me expose the Broward County Sheriff's Office for cooking kilos of the cocaine and selling it to the people on the street, and then taking the people that they sell it to on the street to jail. See, again, these people got actual dirt on them. What happened? I'm not okay. I know why I was doing that. Right. Okay. So again, these people have enough actual dirt on them to where you don't have to fabricate anything. You don't have to do fabrications. My brothers and sisters, you do not have to go into the neo-Nazi, skinhead, racist garbage can and pull out they shit and regurgitate the fake shit that they've been putting out here since, again, Barack Obama won his first term, which created this current climate that helped get Trump into office. Remember, Trump is the guy who, how much was it? I think it was like 50 racks that he used in order to pay for the front page. What was it? The New York Times or the New York Post, and dragged the 5 minors who were accused of doing heinous crimes, right? And who have since been exonerated and released, and also given millions of dollars because they were wrongfully convicted for crimes that they did not commit. Trump called them all kind of fucking animals and everything. And now that these brothers, again, it's been found that they were never guilty of those crimes. And when did this happen? In like 1988, 89, something like that? Trump still has not apologized to those young men. Again, these people refuse to be accountable for 99% of their mistakes. They will ride that shit into the grave. So when they get to the grave, don't expect for me to say, God bless the dead. No, fuck them, is what I'll be saying. Because they deserve that. They don't deserve any kind of sympathy, empathy, that they lack it when it comes to us. Yeah. They don't sympathize. 89, thank you. They don't sympathize with us. They don't give a fuck about us. What the other video? I ain't gonna be around here all day, I promise you. There's too many other projects that I'm working on right now to get out. And I'm gonna play the video again in a minute. Where my stuff at? Take that down. Let's go back. So what was that? That was part 1. What the rest of it? That ain't it either. This one kind of long, but so we only gonna show some of it. And again, if you want to see these videos in their entirety, you want to see the entire video in its entirety, you are welcome to do so. And make sure you send me, leave me some likes. But hold on, where are you at with that damn thing? There you go. And we will go back to right here. Let's share the screen with the peoples. Share the screen with the peoples. Hold on, let me blow it up. Ba-bam, ba-bam, bam, ba-bam, bam. Music stealing bastards. No, we want you all the way big. There we go. See the kind of shit they do to us. See, this is what pissed me off about some of y'all. Y'all will share some of the most poorly photoshopped pictures. But when I put this shit on social media, this picture, that's the actual picture, you would say that the shit is photoshopped. No, you just a fucking dumbass. You deserve a dunce hat. You deserve a dick riding award, right? You deserve a nut hugger award. I make it my business to stay out of the neo-Nazi skinhead trash can unless I'm showing you where you got that shit from. Right? You see the man standing there with his elemental PTQUFU flag, right? Proudly showing it because he's a fucking con artist. How many real estate people do you know that's not con artists? I gave you enough time to give me an answer. There will be a small percentage, if any, if you were able to locate any. And I say it's actually zero. They all are con artists, right? Because when that deal is over with, once you purchase that house, whether you went through all state real estate or I don't know, shit, wherever you went, all of that shit. Do you know we know a mortgage is a dead pledge by now? Even the people who just read Rich Dad Poor Dad, you understand? Who not don't they ain't even aware that there's such a thing as a conscious community or a grassroots conscious community that even exists in the melanated community, right? But they read Rich Dad Poor Dad, however you say that shit, and they found out from there that they need to go and purchase them a Henry Campbell Black's Law Dictionary. They didn't necessarily find that out from a Moor or a person who references themselves to being a sovereign citizen, right? The arrogance that a lot of certain brothers and sisters have, they need the shit smacked out of them. Because you're not the know-all fucking be-all, right? You're not. The same way you got a lot of people who still praise Dwight York because they think that, he's the founder and creator of a lot of the information that he shared with us throughout the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, right? When he indeed is not. Again, the very same books that he plagiarized, the very same books that Brother Polite plagiarized and copied and pasted. You could have bought the original versions of those books yourself. But you know what I'm saying? You rather hug somebody nuts than to be fully informed on your own. You rather go in your pocket and give your money to charlatans instead of doing your own fucking studying and researching and application of what would be beneficial to you and yours, right? You rather pay a nigga and have to chase him down for your 40 racks or your 5 racks or your 2 racks or whatever couple of dollars that he beat your dumb ass out of. Because I'm not the only person who, you know what I'm saying, has been into exposing these frauds. I'm not the only person. But what they have to say to you is more appealing, right? But like I said, sometimes the truth hurts. But you would rather have the truth so that you can be, I would rather have the truth so that I can be secure in my stance. I take the truth over a lot any day. Let's let this play a little bit. Let's fast forward. Yeah, because people be falling for sound bites and shit. You too lazy to go back and look at the entire interview that she did with the white lady when she said, I'm not just gonna do anything for black people, right? That was a fucking sound bite. You have to hear what she said prior to that and what she said post that or after that, if you will, right? But people too lazy to do that. Again, this attention economy where like attention is like money for people. Me, I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? You not paying attention is to your own fucking detriment. You falling for sound bites and poorly Photoshop pictures is to your own fucking detriment, not mine, right? I can feel good about what the fuck I say because I know it's a fucking fact. Meanwhile, you will continue to have to tell lie after lie after lie after lie the same way that Trump does. So I guess it's no surprise, that some of our people who have no problem with liars and have no problem with lying support people who fucking lie. Support douchebags and scumbags and so on and so forth. Support a man who utilize or use the gay community, you understand, to try to get himself in the will keep himself in the White House. And when it didn't work, you see how upset his people got. You see how they raided the Capitol building. You niggas ain't gonna never do none of that shit, which is why I don't have an issue, you understand, with checking your ass, because your bitch ass ain't gonna do shit. The most you can do is fucking block me and do what whoever the fuck just did to fuck up my Facebook page where I can't go live on my Facebook page right now. I know it's one of you punk ass niggas. I know it was. And it would be different, a little bit different if you did it because I called you a bitch ass nigga and a hoe ass nigga, but that's not why you did it, right? That's not why you did it at all. You cannot accept the fact that when it comes to this knowledge of self, I'm more savvy than you, right? And that I actually care about what I'm saying. Versus some of you who either hate women so much or you hate men so much that you will say any fucking thing hateful. And you'll regurgitate any misinformation or any pseudo information that you see with your two fucking eyeballs. That's what you do. And I'm dead in that shit. I'm dead in that shit. So again, this is prior to Biden asking her to run with him as his vice president when she made these statements about she'll sign a reparations bill. The East-West Indian lady, because that's what, her pedigree is. She's an East-West Indian. Her mother's an East Indian. And her father is a West Indian. Still two melanated people. I don't give a fuck which way you slice it. I'll take an East-West Indian over a pale germ man any fucking day. But I don't participate in you know what I'm saying, in my own demise, right? I don't participate within a system that was created to fucking destroy my people. That's the difference in between me and you asinine bastards. You will continue to switch up and switch teams thinking that, well, this team did this, that, and the third, so I'm gonna jump on this team. That's the dumbest shit that any stable-minded adult could ever do in my eyes. You're gonna switch teams, when the teams on both sides are a bloodline that you aren't included in. Barack Obama is a part of that bloodline. Donald Trump is a part of that bloodline. What's Biden for? Whatever. Joseph Biden is a part of that bloodline. Hillary and Bill Clinton is a part of that bloodline. You can find multiple photos of Trump and his wife hanging out with Bill and Hillary because Trump and Hillary Rodham Clinton are cousins. Again, that's why he did not, incarcerate her ass like he promised y'all that he would, but he did not. He did not. He lied, which he don't have no problem with lying. That's one of his specialties. You say the videos have no sound though, but we can see it. I wonder why it's doing it. I don't know why it's, I don't know. I guess because I'm improperly downloading it. Yeah, that's why I put the captions up or whatnot. My bad, y'all. I thought the mic would pick up the audio or whatnot. But again, the videos are available on the Humber Society 313. And the same way you can go back and you can watch part one of this video. Did I do that last night or the night before last? One of them, where I show the videos of Trump and Jeffrey Epstein having a good time, hanging out with the, young teenage and early 20-year-old women, young enough to be their daughters and granddaughters, and partying it up with Gazelle Maxwell. How you say that lady name? She in the video with them too, right behind their ass, hanging out. But again, Jeffrey Epstein ends up dead. Giselle, Maxwell, whatever her name is, she get 20 years, and your boy Trump gets elected to the White House. So anybody that from where I'm from, when you see things like that happen, you know Trump was in the background snitching like a mug, right? He's the snitch. There's no way that he ends up elected to the White House. Jeffrey Epstein ends up dead, and his best girl, which y'all bottom bitch, however y'all say that, she ended up with 20 years. That's the Donald a fucking snitch. That's what Elon should be calling him. He's Donald Trump snitch on everybody but his fucking self. That's what he do. He snitch on you, your mom, and your grandma, but he will never snitch on himself. His day coming though. Believe that. His day is coming. And at his age, we'll live to see his day come. You heard? We'll live to see his day come. You see the motherfucker that's, how old is he? 79, 80, 78, 79, something like that. He on that adrenochrome, how you say that there? Around here eating babies and shit. I'm saying, allegedly. I don't feel bad making accusations about devils. I just don't. All right, so let's take that down. I want to pinpoint one meme and then we out of here, y'all. So let me find it right quick. Where we at? Let's scroll it on down. So I can drive it on home. We about to drive it on home, y'all. So I can point out what I mean when I said what I said. We can get here to do what we came to do, like Red Man. Right? Red. Nope. Nope. It should have been after that. We gonna keep scrolling though. Y'all know me. I will scroll. So, okay. Okay, I found it. So let me share it with y'all. Boom. Put it on full blast right quick. Let's go over here to go over there and go back over here. And this is what I'm talking about right here. Can I zoom it? Yeah, I can zoom it. Let's zoom. Okay. So this the shit that I be talking about, right? So zoom it again and scroll it like this. Can I? No, I won't let me do it like that. So see that? I don't want to do that. I just want to zoom it on up. So I don't have to read it. They say, let's put it all together. Biden is a pedophile. Obama is gay. Michelle is a dude, right? The Biden is a pedophile. I seen him kissing all them babies and all of that, but that's still an accusation, right? Obama is gay. That is an accusation. Michelle is a dude. That is a fucking lie. The elites drink babies' blood. I don't know, because I ain't seen none of it. I don't put shit past them. You know what I'm saying? I don't, right? The USA is a corporation. That's a fact. The immigrants coming over the border are fighting age. Okay. Men who will, they're fighting age men who will attack everyone. Okay. The food we eat is poison on purpose. That's a fact. The COVID vax was meant to depopulate the world. Certain stuff we can't say. The election, why do it keep wanting to do that to me? What did I do? It say the election was stolen. That is alleged, right? Hillary had JFK Jr. assassinated. That's probably some of the dumbest shit I ever heard. Mail-in ballots were used to steal an election. That's stupid because that don't make sense, right? Point being, y'all know the sister that they made those accusations. Well, two of the sisters that Trump made those accusations against, he had to pay them millions of dollars for lying on it, right? Cancer is purposely caused by the government. Cancer, I'm 50-50 with that statement because I just can't point towards the government and say that they're the ones who, they're a part of a conglomerate that could put it into, things like the red 40 and things like this and that, right? And other elements that are cancer causing, but that don't mean that they purposely, now I've seen some of the patents or whatnot, right? Saying that, they own the rights to this particular formula and this, that, and the third. But what I'm saying is the reason I put this meme up here is this the type of shit people find on the internet and they thoroughly believe every one of these accusations, right? To a T without any research. This meme was enough for them, right? I'm not going to say that they're not savvy enough to research each one of these accusations. They just don't care, right? They don't care enough to. And then when it's somebody who is 10 and 20 and 30 years older than me insisting that everything on this meme is true, I got to get in your ass. Don't come on my side of the tracks with this shit and not expect to get cussed out. I'll just say what it is. Let's take it down. See this? I put this video up. Final cut mock debate from 2018 with D. Calico premiering in 5 minutes, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So it's a guy. His name is Harley Byrne. I just made you famous, bro. You know what I'm saying? And how did this happen? This supposed to say this. So now I'm making it say that, right? This was his counter for me. Was him putting his meme up since I said Michelle Obama is not a man or a male. This was his counter to what I said, right? And he must have erased his comment because he went in and telling me about, well, with the Democrats, this, and that. Because I said Michelle Obama is not a man, he's going to take me down Democrat memory lane or whatnot. And this is my rebuttal to him, right? You see it? You've seen me use this since I've been on Facebook. When Obama was in office, I used this meme. When Trump was in office, I used this meme. When Biden was in office, I used this meme. So what does that tell you about me? It should let you know that I'm not rocking with either side. Y'all have fun with that. You know what I'm saying? You have fun with that. Me, it's a no can do. No. I don't, you know what I'm saying? We gonna take that down. We gonna enjoy this. Wait. See, it ain't gonna let me do it like that. So let's see. Hold on. I don't know why though. It should let me do it like that. We about to see. Is that it? Let me see. We about to find out. Okay, it say the browser cannot access that content. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Let's see if this works. No, it still won't do it. Okay, we'll try it another way. Let me see. This might work. We about to find out. No, that ain't it. A try beats a failure. Ain't that how they say that? Mm, come on, man. I'm not no comprende. I don't know why I was doing that because we just watched it and I wanted to hold up. It's on here. It's at the bottom of the screen. So, all right. Let's see. It might let me do it now. So let's try again. Dang, that's small, and I can't really see that. I think this is it, though. Let's see.
The irritated genie here in Burkina Faso, getting looser. The founder of Aspen, rocking my Aracusa, strength, power, and integrity. Here in Burkina Faso, the land of upright men. Check it out, brothers and sisters.
So make sure y'all tune in with us next Saturday. That's gonna be June the 14th, when we will have special guest, brother Irritated Genie in this piece, and let him do his thing, right?
The irritated genie here in Burkina Faso, getting looser. The founder of Aspen, rocking my Aracusa, strength, power, and integrity. Here in Burkina Faso, the land of upright men. Check it out, brothers and sisters.
All right, all right. That's what we doing. And let me plug the Black Tool. You know what I'm talking about? The Black Tool. Make sure y'all check out again the Black Tool. Download the app or look for it, on your internet browser or whatnot, and go over there and type in just about anything. I don't even care if it's a current film that's out right now, such as Sinners. Go check it out, y'all. I seen some conscious people hating on the movie Sinners too, and I'll just laugh. Like, come on, bro. You just say any goddamn thing. Again, we are in an attention economy. For a lot of people, them getting some attention from you is better than fiat currency to them, right? So be careful of these people who you are exchanging energy with, because a lot of them are scumbags and bums, and regardless to what their financial situation is or what class they are in, middle class, upper middle class, you know what I'm saying? Whether you may consider them to be rich, that show as hell don't make them a good individual. We don't judge people based off of how much fiat currency that they have in their possession. We measure your heart against that of a feather, the way the ancestors did. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all might call it Hermes or Tahuti. You know what I'm talking about? That's how we deal with that. I said if I cared about money, I would be doing like 70% of the other broadcasters do, which is just whatever is popular. I would side with the people, which for the most part are incompetent. You know what I'm saying? I will use y'all incompetency against you. Those who are incompetent and lazy and ignore the facts, right? I will use that against you. But how is that going to enhance the future of our babies, our heirs and descendants? It is not, right? And I will be going against what I was delegated to do. if I was participating in the bullshit that a lot of these people are participating in. And again, I've dropped names. Y'all know it, you know, I'm from the D. Ain't no, my heart don't pump no Kool-Aid. That's how we say that over here. So with that, you beautiful people have a beautiful one. I'll leave you with some hip hop right quick. Let me take this down. And again, make sure you tune in next Saturn's Day. Definitely tune in next Saturn's Day and listen at my brother Irritated Genie. Right? He always come with some good information. He like me. He don't, you know, deal with the satire and the pseudo stuff or whatnot, right? He like me. He likes to be, you know, or he can be held accountable for what he says and does. And, you know, that's what makes him the scholar that he is. So with that, I'm going to say peace.
Supreme.
Shock.
They say I'm dope, I said I'm smoke, fire, blowing air, carbon, earth, solid, water, wet. I'm steady beat, a sister soldier that dies effects. So gone with all that hoopla and rah-rah, unless you talking about Atun, Namuna, Amara, pineal glands, all seeing eyes. We call the third eye, we came to build, not pay your bill. Slang municipality, city seals like roadkill, descendants of ancient mound builders. Not supposed to need encyclopedias, genetically encoded with 720. We got amnesia, claiming we Christian cretins in love with Yahweh, Muhammad, and Jesus, but you was living inside of God when you was a fetus. But believers and never believers, non-believers